As of the time of me recording this, DBD is having a collab with the well-known horror manga artist Junji Ito. And it makes sense. DBD is a horror game, and Junji Ito draws for horror mangas. It's like a match made in scary heaven. But for some reason, when I saw this reminded me of another collab that Junji Ito had with another game that made less sense, and that was the collab he had with Monster Hunter Freedom Unite, where for a limited time you were able to hunt the Fishman from one of his horror mangas. And this is a really bizarre choice for a collab. Monster Hunter doesn't really dabble in horror type stuff. I mean, I guess it makes sense on paper. I mean, Fishman, Monster Hunter. I mean, whatever, man. But this got me thinking about other really wacky video game crossovers that don't exactly make a whole lot of sense. So come with me as we dive into the weird and zany world of video game crossovers. Okay, I promise not all of these are going to be about Monster Hunter, but have you even seen the crossovers in Monster Hunter World? I mean, The Witcher? What? Does that even make sense at all? And it's not like this is just a skin or something. They made an entire quest where you hunt the ancient Leshen. They even made Geralt his own playable character with a unique moveset. That's crazy. And that's not even mentioning the Final Fantasy crossover. Fighting Behemoth is an awesome experience. And not to mention that for a really long time it was the hardest boss in Monster Hunter World. Some of the weird crossovers in the Tony Hawk franchise are pretty well known by now, like Spider-Man being in the first game and then Boba Fett and Darth Maul being in subsequent games. But those all make sense to a certain extent. Sony owns PlayStation and also owns Spider-Man, which makes sense why Spider-Man's in the first one. And I'm pretty sure the studio owned some rights to Star Wars games at the time when Boba Fett and Darth Maul were in the game. But one that I just can't wrap my head around is Shrek being in Tony Hawk's Underground 2. For the life of me, I can't figure this one out. I mean, other than the Shrek franchise being at the height of its popularity with the release of Shrek 2 in 2004, the same year that this game was released, it just doesn't make a whole lot of sense besides that though. But enough about Shrek. It's time to talk about everyone's favorite simian, Donkey Kong. More specifically, his rhythm game for the GameCube, Donkey Konga. It had 3 installments over its lifetime, only the third one didn't really leave Japan in any real way. The second one had the Pokemon theme song, but that made sense. I mean, both properties were owned by Nintendo. But what makes a little less sense is the amount of anime songs that were in Donkey Konga 3. Including, but not limited to, Dragon Ball Z, Naruto, Case Closed, and Full Metal Alchemist. I mean, I guess this is a part of the reason why it never left Japan, but to me, Donkey Kong and Full Metal Alchemist don't really mix well in my mind. Speaking of things not mixing well together, Monkey Ball, Persona 5. That's right, in the game Super Monkey Ball Banana Mania, Morgana from Persona 5 was added as a DLC character. Persona 5 is technically a Sega property, and so is Monkey Ball, but there were other Sega properties that would have made way more sense. Like Samba de Amigo was right there, and that guy's actually a monkey. And later on, Monkey Ball even crossed over with Godzilla and Hatsune Miku. I mean, come on, we're just being ridiculous at this point. I mean, Hatsune Miku, you could maybe make the argument that that's monkey adjacent, but I mean, come on, that guy's just a lizard. And if you thought that was bad, Sega recently put out this. No! What is happening? Now, a lot of people might know about this next one, but I don't feel like they take nearly enough time to appreciate just how strange it is. Mario and Rabbids. For those who don't know, the Rabbids were originally an enemy in a Rayman game, and then for seemingly no reason became the video game equivalent to the Minions. And then went on to cross over with the Mario Brothers. Like, forget being strange, this just shouldn't exist. I mean, come on, Nintendo wouldn't put Tails in Smash Brothers, but Mario and Rabbids gets the thumbs up? Wait, what? You're telling me it got 2 thumbs up? Nintendo, are you out of your mind? You know what? I gotta drop the facade now. There's really only one reason why I decided to make this video in the first place. And that is, I wanted any excuse to talk about Kingdom Hearts. Being a crossover between Disney cartoons and Final Fantasy, it's just a beautiful, beautiful mess. But don't get me wrong, I love literally everything about this franchise. Is it perfect? No. Is it necessarily artful? No. Is it super good? No. But I will never not love everything this franchise has to offer. And I will defend it until the day I die. And if you don't like Kingdom Hearts, then you're simply just wrong, okay? You're wrong. You're wrong. You're wrong.